Watch the left edge of the frame. Nobody was hurt here. That is the whole reason this clip is worth 8 minutes of your time, and we're going to show you exactly why. This is 70 seconds of dash camera video from the Brook Park Police Department in Ohio. Brook Park sits on the southwest edge of Cleveland, wrapped around the airport. The date is burned into the bottom corner of every frame, the 10th of March, 2016. The time is 4:15 in the afternoon. An AT&T service van has gone past a lowered crossing gate and ended up sitting on live railroad track. A Brook Park officer walks the driver off the rails. 14 seconds later, a Norfolk Southern freight train arrives. We have removed the original audio completely. Every sound you are hearing is ours. And what we have added is the part the 60-second news package never had room for: the clock, the geometry, and the 8 seconds that actually decided how this ended. Here is where the recording begins, and it is worth sitting with for a moment because it is completely ordinary. The cruiser is stationary. It has been raining. Traffic is moving normally past the front bumper. There is nothing in this frame that tells you anything is about to happen. The wipers are on intermittent, and every sweep takes 1/5 of a second of visibility with it. Then, 24 seconds in, the cruiser moves. Before we go any further, look at the data strip along the bottom of the frame, because half of it is broken. The unit identifier reads a row of capital A's. The speed reads 000 kilometers per hour. Not 0 because the car is parked, but 0 because that field never fills in. We checked all 2,119 frames of this file. It reads exactly the same in every single one, including the frames where the cruiser is clearly moving. So the only piece of telemetry on this recording that actually works is the clock. And the clock turns out to be the most useful thing in the video. It runs from 16:14:45 to 16:15:55, 70 seconds, incrementing 1 second per second, with no jumps forward and no jumps back. That means this is one continuous take. Nothing has been trimmed out of the middle, and there's only one camera. Everything you are about to see happened in the order you see it at the speed you see it. This is a 3-track crossing. That is not an estimate. It is printed on the sign. Under the crossbuck on the mast to the right of frame, there is a small plate that reads 3 tracks. That plate exists because a driver who has cleared one rail has not necessarily cleared the crossing. And on this particular crossing, there are 2 more sets of rails behind the first. The gates are down. Both lamps on the mast are alternating red, and the van is on the wrong side of all of it. There it is at the left of frame. A white service van, nose down into the ballast. Police said the van went through the gate and became stuck. Look at the attitude of the vehicle, and you can see why it stayed stuck. The nose is lower than the tail. A grade crossing is a hump. The road climbs to meet the rails and drops away on the other side, and a long, low-riding van that stops on top of that hump can end up sitting on its own belly with the drive wheels doing very little. This is worth being clear about, because it is the single most common way people die at railroad crossings, and it is not what most people picture. The mental image is a car racing a train and losing. In reality, a very large share of grade crossing collisions involve a vehicle that is not moving at all. It is stopped or stalled or hung up on the crossing itself. In the United States, there are still more than 2,000 highway rail crossing incidents in a typical year, and a couple of hundred deaths. Which brings us to the number that governs everything in this video. A loaded freight train at 55 miles an hour needs a mile or more to stop after the engineer puts the brakes into emergency. The train cannot solve this problem. Only the people on the ground can. 16:15:23. The side door is open and a man is at it.
Stop. Look at what is actually happening in this frame because it is the human bit and it is very easy to miss. The van is sitting on live track. The gates are down. The lights are flashing. And the driver has gone back to it to get his bag out.
The officer enters frame from the left at a run, with his arm already out, on the burned-in clock that is 16:15:29. He does not stop to talk. He does not stand and assess. The arm goes out, and it stays out, and the man moves. Everything about this is one decision made quickly by someone who understood what the flashing lights meant. Here it is again at roughly a third speed. Officer in from the left. Arm out. Driver off the van.
And here is the detail I keep coming back to. He still has the bag. He is walking away from a vehicle that is about to be destroyed, and he is carrying his tools with him.
That is not stupidity. That is a working person's instinct, and it is completely normal. It is also the reason those seconds mattered, because retrieving that bag is what put him back at the van in the first place. Part 2. The 8 seconds. Both men move right now, across the roadway. Nobody is sprinting. No train yet. 16:15:35. He is clear. The bag is down. That gap is the part of this recording I would ask you to hold on to, because it is the only part that was ever negotiable. Everything else here was fixed. The train was always coming. The van was always going to be hit. The gates and the lights have been doing their job correctly the entire time. The only variable in the whole sequence was how quickly a man standing next to a stuck vehicle was persuaded to stop standing next to it. From the officer's arm going out to the moment of impact is 14 seconds. From a driver reaching the far shoulder to impact is 8. That is the margin. That is all of it.
Second pause, and this is the last clean frame before contact. The locomotive is a Norfolk Southern unit. The road number on the nose reads 9573, and the van side door is still standing open.
Now measure the approach. From the first frame in which any part of that locomotive is visible in this camera to the frame in which it touches the van is about 0.6 of a second.
0.6 of a second of warning from this camera's point of view. The officer had 14. That difference is not luck. It is the crossing signals doing exactly what they are built to do, and somebody choosing to believe them.
16:15:43. At roughly a third speed, and this is the part that surprises people, the van is not obliterated. It is shoved. It is caught on the locomotive's pilot and carried down the track, still largely in one piece. Still with the side door hanging open, and the train keeps going. It is still passing when this recording ends 11 seconds later. It never stops in frame, which is exactly what you would expect from something that needs a mile of track to do it. So here is the outcome, and it is a good one. No injuries. Not to the driver, not to the officer, not to anyone on the train. The van was destroyed. The driver was cited for failing to obey the flashing signals at the crossing. He told a Cleveland television crew afterwards that he was grateful the officer had been there. That is the entire casualty list for an incident that involved a freight train hitting a stationary vehicle at a 3-track crossing. And the practical lesson is short enough to actually remember. Never drive onto a crossing you're not certain you can clear. If your vehicle does stop on the tracks, get everybody out and move away from the rails at an angle toward the oncoming train, not along the track and not straight back. And if there is an emergency notification sign on the signal mast, it carries a phone number and a crossing identification number that puts you straight through to the railroad's dispatcher, who can hold trains. Leave the vehicle. It is a vehicle. Original dash camera footage is from the Brook Park Police Department, Ohio, and is public record. Our narration, our graphics, our score, and our analysis are original. If this was worth your time, subscribe, because we do one of these every week.